You wake up every morning and do exactly what the system expects you to do. You grab your phone, check notifications, feel that dopamine rush mixed with anxiety, complain about work, but go to work anyway. Criticize capitalism, but buy from Amazon. Say you hate social media, but spend hours scrolling infinite feeds. And here's the brutal truth that Slavoj Žižek forces us to face. You are not a victim of the system. You are its accomplice. But wait, before you turn off this audio in anger, before your defensive mind screams, "This doesn't apply to me," pause. Breathe. Because what I'm about to show you in the next 20 minutes isn't just criticism. It's a mirror. Zizek, the Slovenian philosopher, who looks like he crawled out of a Kafkaesque nightmare, teaches us something devastating. We are not slaves to the system because it forces us. We are slaves because we choose to be. And worse, we enjoy it. Have you ever wondered why it's easier to imagine the end of the world than the end of capitalism? Why we can visualize asteroids destroying Earth, zombies consuming cities, robots dominating humanity. But we cannot imagine a society without exploitation, without extreme inequality, without this infinite race for more. This is not a coincidence. This is ideology working perfectly. And Zizek shows us that modern ideology is far more sophisticated than any totalitarian propaganda of the past. It doesn't tell us, "Believe this." It tells us, "I know you don't believe it, but act as if you do." How many times have you said, "I know this is bullshit, but I know Instagram is superficial, but I need to post for work. I know fast fashion is exploitation, but this outfit was so cheap. I know Amazon destroys small businesses, but the delivery is so fast." This "but" is where your soul gets sold, fragment by fragment. Zizek calls this enlightened cynicism. You know perfectly well how the system works. You know it's unfair, predatory, unsustainable. But you keep participating because you have no choice. Bullshit. You have a choice. You choose not to choose. And this is the most perverse form of choice. The choice not to take responsibility for your own choice. Let's go deeper. Zizek shows us that the contemporary capitalist system no longer needs to convince us it's good. It only needs to convince us it's inevitable. "There is no alternative," said Margaret Thatcher, Tina. And this phrase became the unconscious mantra of billions of people. Not because they believe capitalism is perfect, but because they believe it's natural, like gravity, like death. But here's what Zizek, along with Lacan and psychoanalysis, reveals to us. None of this is natural. Everything is construction. Every social structure is invented, maintained, and reproduced by daily human choices. And what's the first choice you make every day? Grabbing your phone. You don't grab your phone because you need to. You grab it because you want to suffer a little. You want that controlled dose of anguish. You want to see what you're missing. Who's doing better than you? What catastrophe is happening in the world? Zizek would say, you're not addicted to pleasure. You're addicted to anxiety. Because anxiety makes you feel alive, makes you feel like you're participating in something important. But what kind of participation is this? Passive participation. Consumption of pre-chewed experiences. You don't live your life. You watch your life happen through screens. And here we reach the heart of the perversion. The system doesn't want you happy. The system wants you dissatisfied, but not revolutionary. Restless, but not rebellious. Anxious, but not conscious. Because a truly satisfied person doesn't consume compulsively. A truly conscious person doesn't accept exploitation. A truly free person doesn't need constant validation. So the system offers you substitutes. Substitutes for satisfaction. Consumption. Substitutes for consciousness. Infinite information without knowledge. Substitutes for freedom. Superficial choices between identical brands. You can choose Coke or Pepsi, iPhone or Samsung, Netflix or Disney Plus. But you cannot choose not to play the game. Or can you? Let's do a brutal exercise in honesty. For the next 60 seconds, I want you to think about how many times today you checked your phone for no specific reason, bought something you didn't need, complained about something you have the power to change, said, "I don't have time" for important things while wasting time on useless things, felt envy of someone on social media, said, "That's how the world works," to justify your passivity. How many? 5? 10? All of them? Welcome to your complicity. But Žižek doesn't present this diagnosis to make us feel guilty. He presents it to liberate us. Because the first step to getting out of prison is recognizing you're imprisoned, and the second step is recognizing that you helped build the prison. Here's what the system doesn't want you to discover. You have more power than you imagine. Not power to change the entire world at once, but power to stop feeding what destroys you. Every time you grab your phone compulsively, you're voting. Voting in favor of your own distraction. Every time you buy something to feel better, you're voting. Voting in favor of the idea that happiness can be bought. Every time you accept a job you hate because you need to, you're voting. Voting in favor of a world where survival is more important than dignity. Your small daily acts are constant referendums on what kind of world you want. And here's the most painful part. You'll probably finish this audio, feel a moment of clarity, maybe even get inspired, and then do exactly the same thing you've always done. Because Žižek shows us that knowledge isn't a transformation. Knowledge without action is just intellectual entertainment. You can know everything about capitalism's problems and continue being a perfect capitalist. You can criticize consumerism while consuming. You can talk about authenticity while living a completely artificial life. This is the perverse genius of the current system. It incorporates its own critique. The system isn't afraid of your protests. It's afraid of your silence. It's not afraid of your anger. It's afraid of your indifference. It's not afraid of your screams. It's afraid of you stopping screaming and starting to act differently. So here's my question for you. What are you going to do when this audio ends? Are you going to grab your phone to quickly check notifications? Are you going to open some app to relax? Are you going to look for another piece of content to consume? Or are you going to sit in silence for 5 minutes and confront the emptiness you're so afraid to feel? Žižek teaches us that true revolution doesn't happen in the streets. It happens in your mind. In the moment you stop accepting that that's just how it is. In the moment you recognize that your unhappiness is not natural. You weren't born anxious. You were taught to be anxious. You weren't born consumerist. You were trained to be consumerist. You weren't born passive. You were conditioned to be passive. And everything that was learned can be unlearned. True subversion isn't breaking windows or protesting. True subversion is living consciously. It's making deliberate choices instead of reacting automatically. It's buying only what you need, when you need it, after reflection. It's using technology as a tool, not as an escape. It's working to live, not living to work. It's relating to real people instead of virtual personalities. It's being present in your own life. But be careful. The system will fight back. It will bombard you with temptations, distractions, false urgencies. It will make you feel like you're missing something important when you're actually getting your life back. It will call you radical for wanting to live with dignity. It will call you naive for believing it's possible to be different. It will call you crazy for questioning what everyone accepts as normal. Accept these titles as badges of honor, because in the end, Zizek shows us we have only two options: being conscious accomplices or silent revolutionaries. Conscious accomplices know the system is unjust, but continue participating because it's more comfortable. Silent revolutionaries don't make noise, don't make manifestos, don't make speeches. They simply live differently. And by living differently, they create cracks in the system. Small cracks that, multiplied by millions of people, can bring down empires. The question isn't whether you'll change the world. The question is whether you'll stop letting the world change you. The question isn't whether you'll defeat the system. The question is whether you'll stop defeating yourself. The question isn't whether you'll be free. The question is whether you'll stop choosing prison. Zizek is watching you. Not with his eyes, but with his ideas. His ideas are planted in your mind now. And ideas, unlike chains, cannot be broken by force. They can only be lived. What will you choose to live? If this philosophical devastation has cracked something open in your mind, if you feel that uncomfortable awakening that comes with truth, then you have a choice to make right now. You can let this moment pass, like all the others, consumed and forgotten in the endless scroll of content. Or you can act. Hit that like button, not because you enjoyed this, but because you recognize the necessity of spreading uncomfortable truths in a world drowning in comfortable lies. Subscribe not to consume more content, but to join a community of people who refuse to sleepwalk through existence. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, not because you want to be right, but because you know they're trapped in the same system that's been crushing both of you. The algorithm doesn't want you to see content like this. It wants you passive, distracted, clicking on things that make you feel good about feeling bad. Every like, every share, every subscription is a small act of rebellion against the machine that profits from your unconsciousness. Don't just be another viewer. Be an accomplice in waking people up. The revolution starts with a simple click.